Hello, hello. This is Yuri with Moving Sales Professionals and Let's Talk Moving Podcast. And with me today, real treat, I got Warren Leggett again from Warren's Removals in UK. How you doing today, Warren?
Well, good, mate. How are you? Thanks for
Good.
having me.
It's been a year, a little bit more than a year, so we're getting you on board again. And for those of you guys that have not heard me continuously mention Warren and Josh Pask, I will mention it again. So Warren has this absolutely smashing show on YouTube that I really like that is about his moving company. Remind me again, Warren, what is the name?
It's called Warren's Removals TV.
Warren's Removals TV. So I very much encourage everybody to watch it. So Warren specifically and Joshua Pask, for those of you guys that have heard of him before, the footballer, right? Those two are my biggest example to what I think moving companies should be doing with their social media advertising. And that's also what we're going to be focusing a lot today during this conversation too. These guys really take it to a next level in terms of building social media following, and it's they're really doing a great job. And I really wish more companies in US did something similar because it's really a way of the future. Social media, we're trying to build something long term. And I absolutely am a very strong believer that what these guys are doing is absolutely amazing. And I think that here in US we should follow what they're doing the same way because it's truly the way to build for the future.
Obviously, I follow a lot of removal companies, but I don't follow many people in the US. Are you saying that not many people do what we do in
No,
the States? No.
no. I mean, you have some companies that work on getting their social media, but like yours, like for example, your show that you have on YouTube, it has very much a feeling of a reality TV. So, and I don't know who you use for your video, but whoever you use to do your editing and just for videography in general, it's really top notch. It feels like a professional production when you watch it. And now for a word from our sponsors. If you're a moving business owner, you may have already heard of Moversville, an email marketing service that helps moving companies increase, repeat, and referral business. But have you heard of Moversville Connect? Moversville Connect is an incredible resource for all things moving. They feature an array of vendors and services that cater specifically to the moving industry. You can find companies that provide moving software, moving sales services, marketing services, moving equipment providers, and much, much more. Visit moversville.com today to learn more.
Yeah. And just a bit about that. That is where me and my company spend our money, so our marketing money, so our budget essentially. We don't pay any money on social ads, on Google ads, on social media, Meta. We don't spend any money there. I concentrate our money on photographers and videographers and editors and marketing that way. So that's where my money goes. I think it's important. I think the way of the world now, especially with, I'd say 6, 7 years ago, it's all about photos. You're scrolling, looking for the best photos and stuff, but the world's changed now. When we're sat at home at night with our downtime, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on social media, and we're scrolling videos. Photos are a kind of a thing of the past. Videos, connect a lot more. So that's why I started to focus all of my energy and my time into that area of marketing. And also Josh Pask is doing incredible things also. So, I just want to give Josh a shout out. I know him personally. I speak to him quite a lot. So yeah, he's doing cracking.
Yeah, no, I think it's extremely important because I say it multiple times, and I use this as example a lot. Anytime when you are going through a big mall with lots of stores, really anywhere in the world at this point, not just US, every other person that you're passing has a cell phone in their hands. And they're either on TikTok or Instagram or some of the other stuff that's out there. And it's like over and over and over again. So, you gotta think wider. You gotta think long term. You can't think necessarily today, right? Because a lot of these kids that are using these platforms today, they might be 12, 13, 14, 15, 17 years old.
Yeah.
But all these kids are your future clients. Those kids are going to grow up soon enough. In a couple of years, they're going to be going off to college. A couple of years after that, they're going to be moving from an apartment to an apartment. They're going to be starting a family. They're going to be buying a house. They're going to be your future clients, right? So if you get them hooked on whatever that you're doing, like Warren's show, because Warren's show, one of the things that I like it is that while it is about moving, the format that they chose for it, the format that Warren chose for it, is something that would interest people that are not necessarily have anything to do with the removal industry or moving. It's just something that's interesting because it's reality TV.
Yeah,
And I'm 100% certain that that Warren has plenty of people that are watching this show. I mean, I don't know what you have in terms of following or how many likes or what have you, but I'm 100% certain because of the format that you chose that you are getting a lot of people that are watching it, but once again, have nothing to do with removal or moving industry and business in general. They're just regular people like you and I walking down the street, right? So
yeah,
if you build that, by the time those people that are watching it actually need a moving company or a removal company, they won't even think about going anywhere else.
absolutely. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Gary Bines, the CEO and founder of movinginsurance.com and Relocation Insurance Group. Would you like to secure every move with confidence and shield your company from claims while also increasing your revenues? With Relocation Insurance Group and movinginsurance.com, you and your customers can choose specialized insurance solutions for every step of the move. From moving insurance for household goods to fine art and commercial cargo, we cover it all across all 50 states. From an all-risk policy covering the entire shipment to only specific items to a total loss policy, you can count on us to protect your customers' valuables. Partner with us and benefit from our comprehensive programs managed by our expert team of insurance professionals. With the moving industry's leading moving insurance partner by your side, you can secure every move with confidence. And if you're wondering about compensation, the answer is yes, of course. You'll earn additional income for referring your customers who are interested in insurance. Join our network and let's make every move a success. Discover more with movinginsurance.com.
And we got to build it long term. That's the best strategy. I love what you're doing. Like I said, I give you guys both you and Josh. I give you guys props all the time about this because you are doing what I wish a lot of my clients, frankly, did, and what I wish a lot of moving companies did here in U.S. Because it's not it's on that whole potential, social media potential, is untapped. Yeah, you have a
Yeah.
lot of younger companies that are trying to do that, but certainly older companies, they're not even looking that way because they keep wanting to do things like they used to do things.
Yeah.
But the way that they used to do things, at least here in US, it's not working the same way anymore. They used to, it's not anymore.
Still now, still to this day, although there is a modern touch into the removals industry, I truly believe that. I see it every day. We are still recognised as an old-fashioned industry. So it's just trying to change the narrative, do it on form of a video on social media, do it in different ways. I'm filming tomorrow, for instance. I've got a full day filming. I've got a videographer with me all day, and after that, next week we're going to pump out another episode. Don't get me wrong, there's not ever a day where there's something else going on and I could do with cancelling the videographer because I've got stuff to do. I spread myself pretty thin. I've got a lot going on. But I'm committed to it. And there's a lot of people that watch the YouTube stuff that really enjoy it. I get messages saying, when's the next episode out? So I can't let it go now. And I'm just going to
Right.
continue to see where it heads up, because I can do a YouTube episode, and from that episode I can take shorts for Instagram and TikTok, etc. Then I have a whole new leg
Mm.
uh, of social media marketing as well. So recently, I'd say over the last 6 months, we took a bit of a left turn on our social media and we decided to do something completely adventurous to gain attraction, to gain brand awareness, and to get the eyes of everybody, not just to select people in my area, get the eyes of everybody. So in 6 months, we've had roughly 15 million views on our social media. So that seems to be
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
but the YouTube's probably my favorite. Organically, we're probably getting 500-600 viewers a month about each episode. But that's quite a lot when you think of long form content.
See, that's exactly what I'm referring to. You're taking our niche and you're making it wider. You're making it applicable to people that are not in the niche. Like for me, my show, like this podcast, right? It's gonna be niche. It's gonna be removal industry. It's gonna be moving. It's gonna be people all over the world, frankly, that can understand English, obviously speak English, that are going to potentially are viewers of the show. And they're obviously anybody that's business oriented, anybody that's a provider of services for the moving and for the removal industry. That's who's coming to see my show. But realistically, worldwide, how many people are really affiliated with removal and moving industry? You're talking maybe 100,000, maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm not so like I'm averaging well over 100 views per episode. I have some that are less, then I have some episodes that have over 600 views, right? But that's for niche, for this very small niche that I'm covering. Yours, what you're doing with your show, what you're doing with with Warren's TV has a wide application where it applies to regular folks that have nothing to do with the removal industry, nothing to do with the moving, other than they may become your client at some point.
Yeah. And the good thing about it is always quite humbling. We do a course as well. So there's lots of different things that we do at Warren's. We do a course for new removal companies that may want to elevate and get help to go to that next level so they come and spend time with us. And just this week, we had somebody in and he is a self-proclaimed Warren's addict. You know, he's addicted to the episodes and even said he's watched most of the episode 3 times, and there's 27 episodes now. We've been doing it for over 2 years. So you don't actually know who's watching it and who's repeat watching it. And he said he's also saved, you know, a few episodes on his computer just in case they ever get taken down, kind of thing. He wanted to refer back to them. So it's always quite humbling when you hear that stuff. Plus, I know lots of my customers that watch it and they're not moving, you know, they have no intentions on moving again, but they're just interested in the Warren's journey, if you like.
Right, but the thing is, it's the whole thing that we're talking about, degrees of separation, right? They may not be using you, but then one of their friends may need a mover, or somebody that they know, or their next door neighbor. Who knows? It's that whole thing that I always say is that you never want, even if somebody does not choose your company to handle their service, you never want them to walk away with a bad feeling about the company. Even if they don't use you, they want to walk away with a good feeling about you, because you never know who they're going to talk to, and you never know who may end up your client that dealt with that specific person, even though that person never used your service. So it's all about providing that customer service, and once again, building for the future. That's what we're going to do. I mean, obviously, you know, the moving industry, removal industry, we're all going through a slightly tougher time these last couple of years, and we want to change these things.
The word of advice which I tend to give a lot of people, and it is difficult because it's a comfort zone kind of thing, is live in front of your brand. You know, it's uncomfortable sometimes being on the camera or always being seen, being the figurehead, etc. But if you live in front of your brand, what you're actually doing is you're allowing your customers to get to know you. So many different companies out there live behind their logo and you don't know who's running it. So we have a very personal touch where our customers who we've never met already feel like they know us. So that wins us work naturally. So that's something that I always recommend to do.
That's absolutely, you know, that's what we got to focus on, is we want to make sure that we got to look into the future. We got to look into the future, because in the future, we don't know what the industry is going to look like next year after that. We know that it's going to rebound at some point. We all know that because that's what business does. But when is it going to happen? And we obviously want to make sure that we have a firmer footing whenever it does, because we're going to be positioned well to really explode whatever it is that we're trying to build. It's going to get even bigger if we are positioned well whenever the increase takes place. It will happen. I mean, sooner or later, the interest rates are going to be lower. Sooner or later, the housing market is going to be on the rise. People are going to be moving more again. So whether it's going to happen now or in a few months after the election, we don't know. At least here in U.S. anyway.
Yeah.
But that's what we're going to look at and see what happens with that. But we got to build that. But other than that, obviously, if you add any more episodes and everything else, what has changed for you since you and I talked last? What has changed since March of 2023?
In August last year, we created our own CRM. So it's been in build for a good few years now, but we went live. So I've now got a CRM, which is out to the public. And we have a lot of different companies using that now. So we've already exceeded our goal, which we wanted to achieve in the first year. So we're really proud of it. There's still so much more to do, but currently, I'd say 90% of my week is now iMove, which is that side of the business. I'm very fortunate that Warren's Removals, although I live and breathe Warren's and I'm always here, I actually focus more on iMove whilst here. I'm very fortunate that Warren's can run without me now. I've got a very, very good team that, you know, can do every part of the job without the need of me, essentially. So iMove was born last year, so that's something really exciting. I'm really passionate about that. Other than that, I've got a new child. So I've got a son.
Great.
Yeah. So I've got a boy and a girl now. My son was born a year ago, so he's 1 on Sunday. So we're having a little party for him at my house. So time's gone so quick, but when you're busy, time just naturally goes pretty quick. But at the moment, I'm spreading myself a tiny bit too thin on every part of my life, including family life. So I'm just trying to concentrate a bit on how to solve that part. That's I speak openly about all the time. Is that how I'm addicted to work? I really am. It's a blessing and it's a curse. But obviously, everything gets neglected, and sometimes that's the family. So that's something that in the future. So when we do this for a third time in another year's time, I'm going to tell you actually I'm much better at being a family man.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's the hard thing that we have to go through because as we scale our businesses, you know, we want to make sure that our family life is not taking a hit in the process because you got to still, you know, you don't want to regret this years down the road, the time that you could have spent with your kids versus at work,
Yeah.
or you know, those moments, those precious moments that go away so quickly as your children grow. So I can, you know, I can relate myself. My kids are a little bit older than yours, I believe, right? I can relate to that definitely. I think all of us that are trying to build a business or trying to build something, we're all driven,
Yeah.
and being driven sometimes gets away and takes away from the bigger picture of why is it that we're driven? Why do we do what we do? And the reason we do is because obviously we want to be able to give our families perhaps what we never had and much more than we ever had. So
Yeah.
you want them to feel the comfort that we maybe did not enjoy at the same age for whatever reason.
Yeah, absolutely. I probably shouldn't beat myself up too much about it because obviously, you know, we've got a very, very, you know, good business, a business to be proud of. And I am quite flexible. I do the school run every single morning without fail. So I do get that time with them, but it's just sometimes because of the businesses we've built, removals, obviously, storage business, and now a bespoke CRM, quite a lot of those clients want to speak to you in the evening. So you have to be available, not just 9 to 5, you have to be available 5 to 9 as well. Do you know what I mean?
But I think what you also need to do is, if you don't have that already, maybe you need to get to a point where you have a virtual assistant of sorts that's going to allow you to focus on those type of things. So I think
Yeah.
that that's important as well.
Yeah, well, with iMove, at the moment, we're not at that position. We're spending more money on development than we're bringing in, so we can't really bring any help in at the moment. But we get there. We're very, very new. We're a young company, but the future is very bright for iMove, I can tell.
Well, as I told you for the CRM side of it, if you ever want to send me a demo so I can play around with it. Obviously, I've seen so many CRMs over the years, and we use multiple ones here at Moving Sales Professionals. It's I'm always can take a look and perhaps offer advice on what I've seen. Maybe
Yeah,
there's something that you can improve on or whatever.
yeah, definitely. I'll definitely send you, I'll create you an account and then you can give some feedback to me, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that. But yeah, once again, it's great to have you on again. My goal, once again, I've stated it numerously, and I'll state it again. So my goal is to go to UK next year, and hopefully Warren and I can go to one of the UK events that are over there, so we can get together on that. But
Yeah,
yeah, my plan is to go. So for those of you guys in UK, moving sales professionals are coming your way next year for sure. We're gonna come for a visit and see if we can help you improve your industry.
I'm sure you can. The removals industry in the UK, we have a movers and storers show every single year. Me and my business partner in iMove, we've got a stand there this year. So we're going to actually have a store. We're going to advertise
When is that this year, Warren?
November.
November. You gotta
I'll have,
send me some information. Send me some dates. Maybe I can figure something out. Is it
yeah,
usually on the weekend or on a weekday, or how is it usually planned?
it's usually planned over 3 days, which I believe is the case this time. I do need to double check if it is November to kind of just guess
Okay,
there. But it's
send me that
okay.
information. If I can somehow make that happen in November, maybe I will. I
Yeah,
have to really look at that.
it is really good. You get to I speak to a lot of removal companies all the time, especially now with iMove. But when you actually go and meet them in person, it just feels amazing because you feel like you know them already. Similar to
Sure.
when you visit, I feel like I know you. We speak quite often, so it's nice to actually meet in person, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I definitely want to make sure go out there, meet some people in person. I think it's going to help our model as well. But Warren, once again, thank you very much for joining us for the podcast. And like I've been saying for more than a year now, the world moves on its own, so let the professionals move yours for you. Once again, thank you very much for joining us, Warren.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. We'll talk again soon.